one of the sessions I channeled, what they said is that our throat energy center, which is this blue ray
Mm,
chakra, as known
yeah.
by many people, this is actually the throat center is actually like a cosmic radio. That's what they said in the session. So it is able to, pick up certain information from different places and location, even from some people, certain minds from some other location, and sometimes information may come which may not be your information.
Hi, and welcome back to the Natalie Rustic podcast. Today's guest is the incredible Sam the Illusionist. Now, he'll be joining me today for a Q&A session. And in saying that, if you have not heard of Sam before, please pause this podcast, jump on over to Sam's channel at Sam the Illusionist, and watch some of his material before jumping right back onto the podcast for this incredible Q&A session. In this session, we will be covering law of attraction, astral travel, quantum jumping, and healing through channeling sessions with Sam. So if that's something that you're interested in, please stick right through to the end to find out just how incredible he is and how you can channel too. So let's just jump right into the video.
Natalie, thank you so much for inviting me to your show and giving me this opportunity to spread the messages about channeling and all the information, which I think people, may find it really valuable wherever they are in their life, because it is a lot of like spiritual knowledge, which can help people. Sometimes, people may be struggling, so they may find it useful. And thank you for the opportunity of, allowing me to spread the message. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So, Sam, could we start the podcast off with telling the viewers the types of beings that you channel? How do you begin to channel? And describe the sort of state of awareness that brings through these entities. And are you also aware of what's being spoken through you at the time?
Yeah, basically, the beings that I channel are primarily they have certain names, which are, I think, many people in the spiritual community they're all familiar with, such as the Pleiadians. We have archangels. We have Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael. There are other archangels as well, and there can be Galactic Federation, which I think many people are aware of. And actually, the thing is about the beings, you can tune into any being in particular you want to. So what I do is usually how I do the process is, firstly, I need to enter into a state of mind which is similar to a sleep state. So basically, what I can describe it is like in the middle of the night, if you wake up, to have a drink of water, you will realize that you're in a state of mind where there is no inner sounds, there is no inner voices, there is no inner dialogue. There's just like this emptiness. There's a vacuum or a space which is present in your mind. You are just there, okay? Like during the sleep state, we all go through this stage, I have recognized, and that's the state from where I channel. It's much like a trance state, wherein you actually forget that you are even awake. And what you do is you just connect with the beings. And many people, they have also at this time, studied channeling. And there are also even scientists, who are studying channeling, the process of channeling. It includes actually connecting with the source of all creation, and then from that, you can connect with whoever you want to, because in when we go to the deepest level, when we study spirituality, we all find out that we are all one, and we are just in this body, and with a name and with a shape and form, we forget that we all came from the same source. And when we connect with the same that source, as known as the creator, or the one infinite creator, as many of my channeling sessions, the beings who come through, they state, we can connect to anyone. It's like, for example, you have we are connecting through internet right now, right? So
Mm.
we can connect to anyone. We just need their information and caller ID or whatever. And it's the same thing with connecting with beings. Many people, they may consider that this is something extraordinary, but let me tell you, this is just a ordinary experience which many people they have throughout their life. And many a times, they connect with some beings. Sometimes they don't realize that certain information may be coming from some other sources. And there have been many people who have been channeling, who have been sort of like awake channeling in a way. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it works.
That's actually something that I thought I would bring up to you. So, one of the main reasons why I contacted you and reached out to you is because I'm so drawn to channeling. And I have a lot of conversations with friends who are able and like minded for me to be able to talk about spiritual topics, right? And I find that sometimes when I'm talking, I say this information and I'm just like, where did that come from? And I'm not in a meditative state. I'm not in some other type of awareness. I'm just purely in flow, and these words are just coming right out. So, could you explain different types of channeling that are available to us?
Yeah, like you said, many people, they may be channeling even while they are awake. And I have, like you said, I have also had many experiences wherein, some words or some information comes out randomly, right? Whenever you're talking with
Mm,
someone while you're giving an interview or whatever. And yeah, and I think, what actually is happening is that in one of the sessions I channeled, what they said is that our throat energy center, which is this blue ray
mm,
chakra, as known
yeah.
by many people. This is actually the throat center is actually like a cosmic radio. That's what they said in the session. So it is able to pick up certain information from different places and location, even from some people, certain minds from some other location, and sometimes information may come which may not be your information. So I believe there are different levels of channeling. One is wherein you are like half awake. So I have seen many people, they channel in a state of, half awake, half,
Is that
conscious,
like
I believe.
the body asleep, mind awake?
Yeah, yeah, I would consider it like that, but you're conscious, like, it may be considered as, while you're entering into sleep, you remember the first moments, right? As if when you were about to enter the sleep, right? So that's, I believe, the state where the people who are randomly getting messages may be getting it from, because we enter into trance state all the time. Most people, they don't realize this, that trance is a state. Our brain, our mind, it has to enter this trance like state in order to connect with the inner silence. We are doing this so
Mm,
often that most people, they don't realize this, because without if you just consider this, when you are sleeping, you are actually healing yourself, you're recharging, right? So every night, you go to sleep, it's like a time for your soul, your body, and everything to connect with the one source, with the one creator, and then you feel recharged. It's magical, right? I
yeah.
think, like, even people may find this weird, that they have been living for like 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, and whenever they go to sleep, in the morning they feel refreshed, as if they are I mean, as if they are alive again every single day, right? So I feel
Yeah.
like sleep it may be considered as an example of connecting with the creator, and through that process, what I do is trance channeling, which is, I believe, I have to go to the deep level, which I think people can identify as the moment, in the middle of the night, when they're having a deep rest or a deep sleep. They just wake up to have a glass of water, or to go to the washroom or whatever. They can then, at that moment, just become conscious of the state of mind they are in. There is no
Mm,
inner thought. There is just a complete emptiness. So that is the location from where I channel. And basically, I am not able to remember any of the information which
mm,
comes through. So I have to listen to the information again, which actually I think is much like a sleep state. Because if I ask you about your dream, it may be very difficult for you to remember right now, because we forget
yeah.
our dreams so fast. Yeah, it's the same thing. Channeling is maybe considered as the same thing. If you compare it with our sleep cycle, it may be considered as that. Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you for sharing that, Sam. Um, I wanted to ask, and you've
Yeah, yeah.
probably already clarified this, but can anyone channel? And also, what is a sort of guide or an idea as to how we can bring forth channeling? Do we need to practice meditation or practice mindfulness? What are some ideas on how to learn how to channel?
Yeah, the funny thing is, I never learned channeling. I never thought that I would be a channeler. Like, this thing just happened. randomly, like I was just listening to some self hypnosis tapes. I was just lying down on my bed and just relaxing, like many people they may do meditation and stuff like that. And I somehow made the connection with these beings, and they started to come through me. And yeah, I think if someone wants to learn this, they can learn it. Of course, we are all the same being in a different body. So basically, I think one of the ways to learn channeling is through the process of mastering the mind, to mastering the process of silencing the mind, or to emptying the mind in a way so that there is no voices, no sounds, and no images. Because we on our normal waking life, we have a lot of thoughts which are composed of sounds, voices, words, thoughts and sounds from the future, or you having an internal dialogue with someone else who you had a bad relationship or whatever
Mm,
in your past, so that you repeat that cycle over and over again in your mind. And our if you want to channel, I would recommend basically to empty the mind and practice that. And I believe that most people they are not able to channel because they cannot like silence their mind
mm.
whenever they want to. And this is a skill, much like riding a bike or playing the instrument. It can be learned through practice. It just requires interest in this art form. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And something that I wanted to talk to you about, and I hope that you've learned this through your channelers, but I wanted to talk about quantum jumping. And do we often leap to other realities when massive change occurs in our life? Could we talk a little bit about quantum leaping and how that works?
Yeah, quantum jumping. Actually have to channel about that, but I believe what you mean is like a reality creation process, wherein
Mm,
you from one reality you enter into another reality, right? So I have channel about that. And basically what I have learned is that every moment we are vibrating at a certain vibration, and based on our vibration, or based on our karmic activities which we have done, so let's just say you have done a lot of service to others. So what I have noticed is that, and what I have gotten information is that there becomes a type of imbalance in the universe, right? So you have done a lot
mm,
of service to others, and you have to receive some good, right? So the universe, in order to balance that, will give you something good, and you'll experience a positive event in the next few days, or maybe in the next few months. And the same thing happens if you do the other way around. If you just do a lot of bad things, there is a lot of imbalance over there. So in order to fill that, the universe will send you the equivalent type of negative events to make the
mm,
universe balanced. So that's what I learned from my sessions which I've done. And the other thing that I believe is working here is about vibration. Or because
mm,
most people emotional vibration, which I have noticed is that if you change your emotional state of consciousness, right? So let's just say someone decides to wake up someday and they say, okay, so I'll just choose an emotion like happiness, and no matter what happens throughout the day, I will just be happy no matter what, right? So if they decide to
I
do that,
love that.
and if they practice that often, yeah, 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 and if they practice that often, what happens is that in as a side effect, they will meet new friends or new people who have a same vibration. So they will, and also as another side effect, they will no longer be resonating with information which is like sad, or which is
Yeah.
different vibration. So yeah, um, so these are the things which are operating in our world. I've noticed it from my own experience, as well as from the channeling sessions. And basically about reality creation, like you said, quantum jumping. I think what we can do is we can like close our eyes, use our imagination, and then focus on the timeline you want to be in. So
Mm.
in that timeline, you will have a different vibration, you will have a different emotional state. And then if you are able to copy that emotional state or vibration and bring it to this present moment, then after some time you will eventually end up there. And that's I think what I know from the sessions I've done. So I think I will have to ask about quantum jumping in particular in the future sessions. So I think I'll get more information about that topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if are you only able to do that form of channeling? Like, say, if I asked you a question right now, would you be able to bring forth, say, Metatron or Archangel Michael, or is it something that you have to do within?
Yeah, I have tried that, but I haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
Because yeah, because what happens is, for my own self, what happens is that if I am awake, if I'm awake and if I'm not in that state of consciousness, I have thoughts already going on in my mind. I have thoughts,
Mm,
of what will happen next, or what am I to say next, right? So that is actually, a distraction which doesn't allow me to connect at this time. So
yeah.
I can, usually only do it when I have like this silence of the mind kind of state, and this relax, in a way, it feels much like sleep. So
Mm,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So whenever I do channeling, I do it in that state, because I believe, even the information, because sometimes, the questions, the information is so like different. Like I would have never heard of such things before, or I would have never, I mean, you will not find some of the information anywhere, right? So yeah,
mm.
I believe, I have to enter into that state, to get that proper connection. Otherwise, I have not been able to do it, while I'm awake.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. Um, okay, so astral travel is another topic that I wanted to talk about. Is this something that you have done? And also, are you able to see the beings that you channel?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Sometimes, what happens is that, I believe, astral traveling is much like, using your imagination from the first person perspective. Like I am seeing as if it is happening in reality, and then you enter a certain timeline and you forget about this reality. So you become totally engrossed in that reality. And, this, I believe, is happening every day when we go to sleep, right? We are actually astral traveling. We are entering into different timelines which may already be there, and we are also communicating and seeing other realities, and there may be other beings whom we are connecting with. And yeah, I have actually, in a way, traveled to the Saturn planet, once or twice. Yeah, because the Galactic Federation, they say that, in our galaxy they have their particular base of operations in the Saturn planet. So they are actually protecting our galaxy from there, right? So actually, I
Yeah.
have gone there, and it's much like, what I saw was, there was actually just some lights. That's all I could see, because these beings, they don't have bodies, like we are in the third density, and we need bodies to operate.
Mm,
So from my understanding, they appear like a light, like a light being, like orbs kind of structure. And yeah, that's what I could sense, from my one of the astral traveling thing that I had done. They, because they are in the higher density, like, they may be in seventh density or stuff like that. So we cannot
amazing.
actually see any bodies, yeah. And
Yeah.
they are, I have noticed that, they are very telepathic. They are able to, they are able to give you information in a way without requiring much words. So if you are in that location, you will have an instantaneous connection. Like, you know what they mean, and you don't require words, which is one of the hallmarks of, like, these higher levels. Because what they have said is,
Yeah.
when we enter higher levels, we will have to let go of language, because it will
Mm,
be redundant. Just
yeah.
imagine, if we are able to connect without language, right?
Amazing.
Able to connect telepathically, yeah. Everyone will stop using it. So then it will become redundant ultimately, yeah.
It's interesting that you bring that up, Sam, as well, because I do a lot of near death experience podcasts. And many people that I have spoken to, when they have gone to that other space, that other dimension, heaven, whatever you like to call it, when they do communicate with these light beings, which you may actually be channeling, which is pretty awesome, there's no words spoken, it's pure telepathy. So, whatever their thoughts are, it's manifesting the answer immediately. So, I think that's quite incredible. And in saying that, I do have a topic that I'd like to talk about, and that is the power of thoughts. So while we're on the subject, how does thoughts work? Like, what really are thoughts and what is the power of it? So that if we change our thought process, we can in fact change our reality. And this probably ties into quantum jumping as well and the law of attraction. So yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the power of thoughts. What have you been told about with your higher beings?
Yeah, from my channeling, and it may be a bit different than what you will hear in the mainstream, law of attraction kind of stuff.
Mm,
So the first thing which I have received is that actually thoughts, right? Our thoughts are composed of two things. So the first is we have got the sound, which appears as voices in your head, right? You have voices in your head. You may be having music in your head, whatever it
mm,
is composed of sounds. So you have some sounds in your head, and then the other one is you have an image. So your thoughts can be classified into two things as far as I have channeled, and that is your sounds and you have images. And basically, your thoughts actually may be considered as this tuning system. Okay, whenever you are having image of someone. So let's just try an experiment for 1 second.
yeah.
So if all the viewers, were to close their eyes, and just imagine a so if you
Oh, I think your internet has stopped. You've
even
just
the
paused.
vibration.
Oh,
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
When you said close your eyes, it just kind of stopped. Your internet kind of glitched.
Oh, oh, right now is it
Yeah.
fine?
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, by doing that, I think you might have felt the vibration of love, right? And now, just for a moment, imagine who you do not have a good relationship with. So it may be someone from your past or whatever. So just bring forth the image of that person in your mind, and you can see that there is a different emotion. You can feel this different vibe thoughts. Every single thought you have, every single image or sound you have, is you are tuning into that vibration. And that's what I have learned from a session. So basically, I believe if you want to master the law of attraction, what you need to do is firstly you have to have one single
Mm,
thought over and over again in your mind. Just imagine how powerful capable. If you just have one thought, like if you could just think of one thought, like if you just could be thankful, right? So that's why there are many exercises wherein they say, if you are talking with yourself in your mind, and if you just repeat the words like thank you, thank you, thank you over and over again, and you'll see that something changes within you, because that's one thought, right? You're choosing one thought over the numerous vibrations you could tune into, and that
mm,
is more powerful. Just imagine like you are hitting. So every time you think a thought, think different thoughts, you'll hit the nail maybe once, right? So that's the reality you want to enter into. But if you are thinking the same thought of whatever you desire to enter into, you will hit the nail multiple times. And that vibration will ultimately manifest itself. So I think, our thoughts basically are sounds and images. And if we can master these two things, we can master our life as well, because sound changing our vibration, we are not aware of this. This is an unconscious process, but if we it can be done under meditation. You need to, like, focus on what you're thinking, and you need to be self-aware. So the more you do this, the more you are able to master this. But I think one of the most important blockages that most people they don't tell us is, firstly, to master this you need to learn how to silence the mind. Firstly, you need to learn how to have nothing in your mind, how to have no sound and no image, so that there is this emptiness. So there
mm,
is this black, right? It's just black in your mind. And if then you can choose only one image or one word, and that will be very powerful. That's what I learned.
That's absolutely incredible. Um, Another thing that I wanted to talk about, okay, so a woman had a channeling session with someone, and I do apologize because I cannot remember for the life of me who it was. But I remember she channeled with a person through a higher being, and she asked that being if they could heal her through a channeling session. And 3 days after that session, she became quite ill and told her husband, "Oh, I think I need to go to hospital." And he's like, "You know what? Just write it out, see how things go." And then not long after, she had been completely healed. She suddenly was somewhere else too, so she thinks she may have had a near-death experience, but it was quite quick. And then she came back and she was just a healed person. And so I wanted to ask you, as a channeler, is this something that you think you could even do? Or maybe it might be something you could channel, Metatron, is healing others through a session possible?
Yeah, funny thing is, I have actually, like, done sessions and wherein people have actually healed. I have had many
Wow.
people. Yeah, I have had one person, who, I think it was recently, was suffering from extreme eczema. Okay, so there was
Wow.
eczema on the skin, body all over, and the person had gone to the hospital for 6 months and nothing had happened, right? So
Mm.
they approached me and I channeled the higher self, and then the higher self, gave some natural methods. They gave some exercises, and within 15 days, I get an email saying that, it's gone, right? So I have had, many people, who contact me because they have lost a pet, and I channel their higher self, and they tell them what is to be done. And within, this one person, had lost a dog, and they even had a collar tracker, but it was not working. So they had been searching for 10 days, and they could not find that pet, right? So they approached me,
Yeah.
and I channeled their higher self, and the higher self gave a specific instruction which they followed for one night. And in the morning, I got an email saying that, uh, he came back magically, right? So he came back to the house. They
Wow.
didn't have to go anywhere. So I was like, it is not just possible. I have seen it many a times. This stuff is, absolutely possible.
We really are more powerful than what we think. I'm so
Yeah,
drawn
yeah.
to learning and understand who we are as human. Like we really don't know our greatest potential. And so I really appreciate you sharing that. That's quite amazing, Sam.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. I have had many people, heal from several diseases. Some people,
Mm,
they had even problems with depression and stuff like that. Even
yeah.
I had a person, contact me. They had obsession with drinking. So I
Yeah.
had channeled that person, and somehow, by following the instructions of the higher self, they were able to give it up, which, I think, for those people it may be hard, right? Because they have become addicted to it, right? So I
Yeah.
have seen many of these events, so it's absolutely amazing.
You
We
say
are
that you
in.
channel the
Yeah,
higher self. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to have a thought. I want to
yeah.
speak it before I forget. You said you channel, is it your higher self or the person's higher self who's coming to you?
Yeah, actually, how this works is, the higher self is, as per the information I have gotten from channeling, is in the sixth density consciousness. So we are in the
Yeah.
third density. This is like 3D, right? So
Mm,
the higher self is in the sixth density. What that means is that the higher self of my higher self and your higher self is aware of all of your various incarnations you have in various
mm,
times, because they are above time.
okay.
We operate on time. We need time to exist, right? But they are beyond time. They can actually, like, look at I think, it's like looking at a book of time. So if you
Yeah.
want to, if you turn a page of like 200 BC, they can just like pick up the time, that timeline, and look at the life, right? So higher self, is
Amazing.
like, yeah, higher self is like who have knowledge of all other realities combined together. So the higher self knows about all of your existences, all of your past life, all of your future self, and it
Mm,
is extending assistance in order to help those. So whenever I'm channeling, I actually need the name of the person and the date of birth, so I
Mm.
can tune into that higher self, so that I can get the purest form of information, which can actually heal them, which can help them, and which can give them information they require. So I have, yeah, so I channel actually the person's higher self. It's not my higher self, because, otherwise the information will not match with the person, right? So that's how it works.
You are such an important and incredible service to humanity right now, Sam. And so, right now, I would like to say for the viewers watching, how can people get in contact with you in order to have you channel their higher selves, in order to have help for their own desires? How can they contact you, and how do you do this?
Yeah, usually, I have an email, Sam the Illusionist one.
Mm.
I usually leave it on all of my videos as well, so people can find me. So basically, I just get them to email me, and I need their questions. I need their like name, their birth name, and their birth date, right? So I can accurately tune into that vibration, and then I place the questions. It's similar to what I do in my YouTube sessions, right? So what I do is
Yeah.
I gather some questions, and then I channel the beings, right? Same process. I just then give them the recorded session so they can hear it themselves and find the information.
The higher beings you channel, are they in a body or a form, or are they pure consciousness on the other side as guidance for whoever seeks it?
Yeah, actually, I feel that these higher selves, as we go higher in density, we don't have bodies. So as far as my channeling sessions I have done, we have only bodies up to the beginning stages of fourth density. So when we enter into the later fourth density stages, we become part of something known as the social memory complex. So it is like a collective of similar vibration beings, and we don't have any bodies at the time. So we just have consciousness. We are just conscious, and these higher beings, whoever I am talking to, they don't have bodies. They may, if they appear to us right now in this reality, they may seem like light orbs. So
Mm.
light orbs, I believe many people, they may have seen them. So that's how they appear. They look like light, shimmering light. That's it.
And I do understand that when you channel, I think if I'm right, apologize if I'm not, but I feel like you have to raise your vibration in order for them to bring down their vibration slightly to sort of match. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's one of the things I recognize, when I'm doing is, when I'm channeling, I'm actually like entering into the state of nothingness, right?
Mm.
And that state of nothingness is the state of peace, or if you look at the scale of consciousness, because there is a scale which was made by some doctor, scientist, he was researching, and that's the highest level we can reach up to, at this point, right? If you go higher than that, then we will not be requiring this body, okay? uh,
Yeah.
so uh, so yeah, that's what happens. When I'm entering the trance state, I'm trying to reach that higher level, wherein I don't have my identity, okay? So I don't have my thought forms, which are composed of sounds and images. So I don't have any of that, and I just know that whatever comes through from that state, I believe they are actually lowering their vibration in a way to reach us, because
Mm.
like you said, they are beyond, I mean, this dimension. They don't need this vibration, right? Because we live in a society wherein people, usually, I feel that I find myself meeting people who are trapped in a certain vibration, like fear, or egoistic vibration, or they may be prideful or whatever, and it's very difficult to escape that. And I believe, through meditation, by practicing entering into trance like I do, we can actually escape that and raise our consciousness higher. So
Yeah.
and other thing, like you said, is I need to make sure that I remain in this joyful state, okay, even throughout my
Mm.
daytime, because it affects every single thing, every single reaction that you have will have an effect on you. Because one of the things that I remembered in the sessions is that our body is like this sponge. It's like this emotional sponge. It will absorb the emotion which you it will remember it, and then I need to make sure, not you, those who are channeling, they need to make sure that they only allow positive emotions. So just stay happy and joyful, and don't let other people's vibrations affect you. I believe in this
Yeah.
society, we are living in this world of vibration. So it's like this, okay? There may be a person with one vibration, and there is another one with another vibration. So it's like, who will win, right? Whenever they're
Mm.
interacting, whether the positive vibration will win or the negative will win. And it's always happening. And that's one of the things I need to remember. Yeah.
Must be quite hard to stay. Well, I don't actually know, but from my perspective, it could be quite difficult because me as a mom, I've got the kids and things get stressful. It's like, how do you stay in a state of happiness and joy? What like say that you so the thing that I do, right, is if I'm having a down negative sort of environment, I always think to myself, because I've listened to Abraham Hicks, I'll say, get back in your vortex and continue manifesting all that is good. So although I'm not a channeler, I am practicing only being positive because that's what I want to manifest, constant positivity, right? But how do you do that? How do you stay in a constant state of happiness? That's so incredible.
Yeah, there is a method. Recently I was shown a method. It's really amazing. So, like you said, I was also like struggling to stay. How do I stay in this positive state all the time, right? So then I channeled the information. It was really simple. It's nothing to do with repeating words or repeating images or anything like that. You can do it that way too. I mean, eventually, when you repeat a positive thing, like you said, enter into the vortex. If you do it over and over again, your vibration will change, right? But there is a even more effective way, and that is to just stretch the muscles in your face like you're smiling. So yeah, if you have this, yeah, if you just
Yeah, it did
have
make me
this,
happy immediately. That's
yeah,
so
it
good.
does make you happy.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the secret, like whenever you're feeling down, because your body is like the subconscious mind, right? And it remembers that you only do this when you're feeling really good, when something good happens. So it's like a reverse process.
Yeah, you're
So if
beating
you,
your brain. You're getting the signals before
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
brain. That is amazing.
yeah, it works. Yeah, I use this method, and I have had many situations where you become immune. I mean, if you just do this method, even if you're just sitting over there and a person is saying bad things to you, you will not feel anything. Like, it's so
Hmm.
amazing.
I
Yeah,
could imagine someone just bugging you, Sam, and you're just like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
just smile. Oh, that's so
yeah,
good. Um, Yeah, that's so incredible. I really appreciate you sharing this with me because I feel like you came at such a divine time as I'm on my own spiritual journey.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
only am I doing this podcast for, the people out there, but it's also for myself because I want to learn and grow and expand in my own consciousness. And so I really do appreciate you coming here today and sharing what you do. I really do appreciate
yeah.
that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
And if I can end this podcast today, is there any sort of positive message that you could give the viewers as a takeaway from today's video?
Yeah, basically, I would like to say, firstly, I think in spirituality, it's very important to trust your own inner self. And there may be many teachings out there, many teachers, and some of it may get confusing, if you listen to like too many information. So it's very important to just listen to your heart, and don't listen to what I'm saying or what is being said in the session, but try it out. And if it works for you, then you know for sure that it's true, right? And if it doesn't work, then you'll find something else. So that's all I have to say.
Beautiful. And once again, Sam, thank you so much for your time today. And for the viewers
Thank you so much.
watching, for the viewers watching, I will put his link on the video description below. And I do urge you to check him out because he has quite amazing information that he channels all the time. So don't miss his channel. And I appreciate you so much, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Natalie. Thank you, all of you watching this. Thank you.